Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, once said, "It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep." This quote changed my life. I used to believe that the only thing that I had to focus on if I wanted to be rich was making a whole lot of money. However, now that I'm in the top 1% net worths of all 23-year-olds, I realized that this is not true. Making money is just one part of the puzzle. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing you how I'm able to save 50% of my income, my strategies and mindsets, and how you can implement something similar in your life so you can worry a life stress-free of money. If you're new here, hi, I'm Angelo. In this channel, we talk all about personal finance, business, self-improvement, and all things money. Now, most people struggle to save even 10% of their income, and it's mainly because of two reasons. One, you have a spending problem. Everything that goes in goes immediately out. And two, you don't make enough money to begin with, so there's nothing left over to save after your living expenses. So that brings me to method number one, which is increasing your income. Now, I know that saving 50% of your income may seem impossible because it depends on your personal situation. If you make $40,000 a year, 50% of that income, which is $20,000, may not seem feasible or possible because there isn't enough money to save to begin with. I won't say living off of $20,000 a year is impossible. I'm sure there are people who are doing it, but for most people, that's just not gonna cut it, especially how expensive rent is nowadays. I recently went to New York and discovered that the average rent there is $3,796. I almost threw up, but you get my point. However, what about saving 50% on a $100,000 income? That gives you $50,000 a year to live on, which sounds a lot more doable. So the first step to actually saving money is to increase your income to make saving a lot more feasible and realistic. And I know it's always easier said than done, but this is the reality of it. You can only save as much as you earn. So unless you're an Amish living off the grid, chances are you have fixed expenses like your bills that can only really go down so much. So here are some tips and things that work for me to increase your bottom line. If you have a job, the first thing that you can do is literally ask for a promotion. Yes, literally ask. Whatever is not asked cannot be given. One thing to know is that a promotion is not based on how long you worked at the company, but rather the merit and the value you were able to bring to the company at your time there. So before you email your boss demanding a pay raise, make sure you're keeping track of what you actually do and bring to the table. The goal is to have enough irrefutable evidence that you actually do work and you bring value to the company that your boss can't say no, and that you're actually deserving of a promotion. Once you gather enough evidence and you're confident, present it to your boss. Companies rather would invest and keep good employees rather than firing them and having to go through the entire process and finding new ones. So if you're actually doing a good job and are deserving a promotion, they'll want to keep you around. Second option, if you have a traditional job, is to job hop. This is where every year or two you hop from one job to another in hopes of leveraging your past experiences for a higher pay raise and to advance your career. People who job hop are reported to see nearly a 10% increase in earnings, which beats a 2 to 3% promotion that you'll get from your job just by waiting there. However, there are some drawbacks. Since you are changing jobs, you may lose some retirement benefits and vacation time. Some employers do see this as negative, so it may hurt your other options. And if you're changing from significant different positions, it may lead to inconsistent work experience. But if you don't have a traditional job or you just want to take it to the next level, the next thing you can do is start a side hustle. Now, there are so many things that you can do as a side hustle alongside a full-time job like DoorDash, Wag, Instacart. However, the type of side hustle that you choose will determine how much effort it takes and how much money you'll make. If you want something easy, consistent that you can do just in your spare time, gig apps like Uber is your best friend. However, your income will be limited because you're still technically trading your time for money. But if you want to earn even more, you're going to have to start looking at side hustles that do require a little more effort but have a larger earning potential. For example, content creation, selling on Amazon, print on demand. These are all good options that have a higher earning potential but will require a lot more effort and take a lot more time. That's just one method increasing your income. However, I will recognize that this isn't for everyone. Not everyone will have the capability or bandwidth to have a side hustle or another job. And even if you increase your income, that alone is not going to solve your problem. According to this article, 62% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and of that 62%, 48% make over $100,000 a year. So there are many people out there making six figures but have nothing to show for it because of their expenses. So the second method you're going to have to do is lower your cost of living and cut back on expenses. The reason why people make a lot of money but have nothing to save is because of something called lifestyle inflation. It's a phenomenon that happens to people where once their income rises, their expenses rise with it. So it doesn't matter how much you're making. You can make millions of dollars and still be piss poor if you're just spending everything right when you get it. There's an endless list of famous celebrities who have made hundreds of millions of dollars in their career but still ended up broke because of this. Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson, 50 Cent. So if you do job hop, get a side hustle, and increase your income, you have to remember to hold those temptations back and not upgrade your lifestyle just because you started making a little more money. And when it comes to saving money, many people go straight into the don't buy Starbucks or cancel your Netflix subscription, which is great, don't get me wrong. However, there are three main categories of expenses that you should focus all your energy on, and it is your housing, transportation, and food. These three categories of expenses eat up a big portion of people's income alone. I have a lot of friends who, after graduating college, moved into a single high-rise apartment by themselves and are paying $3,000, $4,000 a month just on rent. 50%. I don't think people are overpaying on their housing because they need that much space. I think it's because of the status and because they think that they need all the space or need all these amenities. Me personally, I'm fortunate enough to have the option to move back home with my parents. But currently, I live with 5 roommates and my rent is $1,050, which by San Diego, California measures is not too bad. I'm literally moving back home in a week, and this is gonna save me so much money and allow me to use this money to save and invest and to just use elsewhere. The second big expense I see people splurge on is their transportation or what type of car that they have. Me, I have a used 2017 Toyota Corolla. It's fully paid off, no car payment, it's dusty, but it still works and gets me to place A to B, no problem. However, I see so many people, young people especially, be so eager to buy a brand new car and get a $700 car payment. That is a big monthly expense for something that depreciates every single second. So instead, consider getting a used car. You don't really need the fancy BMW. You just need something that will be safe and take you from place A to B. Now, when it comes to food, I'm actually the type of person that buys the organic or the grass-fed meat. And that's because my health and diet is really important to me. So I cut back on other areas so I can pay that premium for the food. I make my own coffee, I don't really snack. I make my food at home, and I don't buy alcohol at bars. I feel like people got so accustomed to dropping $15 on Chipotle every day that they fail to realize how much that adds up over time. You wanna know how to waste $5,000 a year? Buy a $15 Chipotle bowl every single day. Now, I know cutting back expenses can be hard, especially if you don't even know how much you're even spending in the first place. So it's very important to have a budget. Having a budget is knowing the lay of the land. How do you expect to improve something if you don't even know what's going on? How much money you make a month? How much you spend a month? What are you spending on? Is it food? Is it transportation? Is it entertainment costs? You need to know. And you can do it simply by just taking the effort and using a pen and paper or even a simple Excel sheet. Now, to be honest, guys, I pay for an app. It's not sponsored. I use Monarch Money. I love it. And it just makes everything super easy. That $15 a month that I pay for this app gives me so much peace of mind and just makes everything so much easier. To me, it's worth it. And it's more than just knowing the numbers. It's about knowing the type of lifestyle that you have. Whatever financial situation you're in is the results of your financial habits. Are you eating out every day? Do you impulse buy? Are you upgrading every single new phone? Are you buying things that you can't afford? It's not just bad money decisions, it's a lifestyle that you have. So please look through this as more of a lifestyle and habit lens. A good rule of thumb for a budget is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% goes to needs like housing, food, utilities. 30% goes to wants like entertainment, shopping, clothes, and 20% goes to saving and investing. Obviously, I would recommend upping the savings and lowering down the wants and needs, but it depends up to your situation. Saving and investing needs to become a part of your lifestyle and habit. It can't just be an action that you do once a month because we're humans. We'll inevitably mess up, we'll forget, or we'll just not want to do it. And I'll be honest, no one inherently likes to save. You see the money, you want to spend the money. So you have to make it easier on yourself and work smarter, not harder. One way you can do that, and is the best advice that I've ever received, and is to automate your savings and investing. Most bank accounts or investing brokerages allow automatic investments. So once you get paid, you can automate a portion of your paycheck to get transferred out of your bank account into your high yield savings account, your investment brokerages, without pressing a button. This will take all the emotional and mental hassle and will make saving and investing a lot easier. It will also force you to restructure your whole entire life, so you're forced to save and think through that lens. This is what I did when I was first beginning, and I automated 50% of everything that went into my bank account into the stock market. This made me look at everything that I was doing and really reevaluate. Is it really worth the money? Is it worth the time? And it made me grind harder. It made me start businesses. It made me get new jobs because money was going out of my bank account no matter what. It was like a bill. So I had to kind of rise to the occasion. And I know this may seem stressful, and I know the act of saving money can cause a lot of pain. When I first started, the way I started saving money was literally starving myself. I would steal eggs from my dorm room lounge, and I would survive the entire weekend off of one Korean barbecue short ribs from Trader Joe's. That's not the way to do it. It's important to have a balance because it's a lot less of how much you spend, rather what you spend it on. And because if you're spending money on things that truly give you value and truly make you happy, well, it's worth it to me. And naturally, the reason why people overspend is not because they want to and it gives them happiness. It's because of bad self-control, self-discipline, and a lack of awareness of things that truly matter to yourself. And when you're on this saving journey, I want you to think about the story that I just told you of how I used to steal eggs from the dorm lounge. You don't want to be like me. I don't believe that your livelihood or happiness is worth trying to save, 50% of your income. If it's making you miserable, it's hurting your health, if it's ruining your relationships, then it's just not worth it. So you have to work hard on finding this balance between sacrificing, but also being frugal and staying true to what you are and what you actually like. And I'm not saying it's easy, it's far from that, but it is doable and is realistic, and I believe that you can do it. If you want to see how I was able to save over $100,000 by the age of 20, click the video right here or right here. I go in depth on my story and tell you everything that happened. But if you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and of course, till next time.